Welcome to the JAMODI podcast, where we interview coaches and leaders to find out not just what they do, but how they do what they do. Becoming the best version of ourselves is JAMODI, just a matter of doing it. What's your morning routine or favorite daily activity?
Ooh, I love these questions. It's good stuff. My morning routine is a little crazy because it revolves around a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 9-month-old. So the routine is never quite what you want it to be, but it usually consists of making them breakfast. It usually consists of praying with them. It consists of some type of praise music, either on the way to school, if I take them to school, or while they're eating breakfast. So try to have as much happiness to start the day, and then try to make sure we're keeping first things first with our faith, either by prayer together. We should try to pray as a family before we leave the house, even if one of us isn't leaving or some of us are. Just try to make that culture of, connecting with our faith a first part of the day. Do my best to do some devotional time, whether it's praise music, whether it's reading scripture, as best I can. I'd say that's one of the favorite parts of the day, just because I want to keep first things first.
Yeah.
And I think it's so easy in the world of busy to not think that we need that. And I think I've finally gotten to a place in my life where I've surrendered enough to know, like, hey, I need this. Not I want it, not as cool, but I need this for me to be my best self and do your will and not my own. So I think that's probably one of the coolest parts about the day. And then I'd say something else is cool. I'm getting better at this. So this is my new thing, my new wave, is picking 2 to 3 people a day to just send a voice note to, not to call, because then it thinks you have to answer. And then voicemail, some people check, some people don't. So I'm getting better at this new, I just started probably a week ago, of just holding the record button down, giving them a 1 minute, whatever, and then just leaving it. So I think I'm in a place where I want to make sure I'm serving more than I'm receiving. And it's harder to do when you don't have a team, because that's an easy place to know you can serve, especially when you're an assistant coach.
Yeah.
Because you're constantly in that mode of serving your head coach, serving your staff, serving your players. So I think just making sure I'm, just putting out positive and encouragement and acknowledging people, because you just never know what people are going through. You never know if people need to be seen. And I think I'm so used to that as an assistant coach, trying to juggle so many guys, like mental psyche and their performance, that now that I'm not in that space, just making sure I'm doing that with my family, my friends, people in my circle, people across the way. Even sometimes we see people on social media and we give a like, but we never actually tell that person, right?
Yeah.
So I think what I'm getting better at is just taking time out, like I said, 2 or 3 a day, just 1 minute, leave a quick voice note, acknowledge it. Hey man, I saw this, really cool, congratulations, whatever, and keep it moving.
I love that. And just that little nugget right here. I know the rest of our talk is going to be good, but that's exactly why I'm doing this, is because there's so many great leaders out there, influential people that have these amazing routines and are so successful and intentional. But
Right.
like the whole tagline behind this is, it's not just what you do, but how you do what you do. And so you wanting to impact people every day, awesome. That's great. How do you do that? I
Right.
love the 2 to 3, the 2 to 3 people, and using that voice function, because that's even, I do a Tuesday text with my players,
Yeah.
current and past. Every Tuesday, they're going to get something, but it is the same text to everybody. It's not personal. And I think going one step further with that would be huge.
Yeah, I think for me, what I keep learning and I keep challenging myself, and it happens this way in marriage. You're obviously, this life. So I think sometimes it's easy with the people that love us the most to just think you get a pass, which you do, or just to think you're good. And I think I've even re-energized myself in my marriage. This is where it started, honestly. I just re-challenged myself to do 40 days in a row of videos to my wife that are at least 3 minutes about something that I love about her. Right. So this is how it started. I'm going to be honest. Because we were just having some little small, we have great and 9 out of 10 categories, but there's like a category and a half that just was becoming magnified, and the perspective for me wasn't where it should be, and I just wanted to change the energy. And I'm like, all right, I need to challenge myself discipline wise to do something to just change our energy, because sometimes we condition the people we're around because of how we interact with them, and not on purpose, but we either, small example, like she may say something and I may not give a reaction that's inviting. So now she feels more closed off on that topic. So then the next time, if I do it again, well, slowly but surely, you've conditioned this thing that you didn't even know you were doing. Yeah. Right. So I think for me, it started there and challenging myself to be a better husband, because that's the place I want to be the best at in life, more than a coach, more than a businessman, more than a leader, anything else. Like, man of God, husband first, father next, right? Because if I'm a great husband, the father part will kick in because of that commitment, right? Yeah. And so it started there. And then when I realized there was like this audio button that I could use, I'd never really used it, really, to be honest. Yeah. When people send it to me, I'm like, it's kind of weird. But yeah, I just kind of got into a groove with it. And I'm like, you know what? This is a cool way for me to make a personalized acknowledgement. So even like Thanksgiving, I probably did way more than 3. I did a lot of them, but it just made it where sometimes the text it's hard to be as specific in text, because there's so much grammar and things. Like, you want to make it look good. You don't want to shortcut it, but it takes time, So I think for me, it just helped me condense time and something I really wanted to do and be effective at. And so, yeah, I'm actually excited about it. I've had a lot of fun with it, and it's been cool. And it's, like you said, it's personalized in the fact that it's a voice thing too.
Yeah, so I was going to say it's the sweet spot between having to type out the text, but then having to get on a call that, because to be honest, we don't have necessarily, sometimes we don't have time for 3 5 to 10 minute conversations on the phone, in addition to the face-to-face conversations at our workplace. Right. So I love that idea. Very good.
Yeah, thank you. It came from above. It wasn't from me.
Thank you for checking out today's episode. Please take a moment to subscribe to this podcast, share it with your fellow coaches, and find us on social media for what's coming up next on the JAMODI podcast. It's just a matter of doing it.